Hello everybody, I'm Happy Pancakes, and in this video I'll be making a snack plan and book for kids. You know that common joke in sitcoms where the kid refuses to eat his vegetables? Well, it is common for children around 2 to 6 years old to have food neophobia, the fear of trying new foods. It wears off over time. It is important to encourage them to eat healthily at an early age so that they will continue doing it consistently. Otherwise, they would experience health complications. One of the ways to do that is to make the healthy foods look enticing, and that's where I come in. Here are my parameters. I have to make a 5-day snack plan and a corresponding book. The snacks should not only be healthy, but also easy for a kid to make with minimal supervision at home. Challenging? Yes it is. So, without further ado, let's get into it. After picking out what I wanted, I made the Word doc and typed in the snacks and drinks I choose to use. It's really simple and I think it covers most of the parameters I'm looking for. Aside from its nutritional value, I also consider the availability of the ingredients because how can a child be exposed to healthy snacks when those snacks are inaccessible to begin with? Anyway, quick story time. One day, some of the keys on my keyboard stopped working, so typing had been a pain. I'm not sure if it can be seen in the footage, but when I was typing out the snack plan, I made some minor typos because the keys I needed weren't working, so I had to copy, paste, and whatnot. The letter P especially stopped working, so imagine how inconvenient it was to type in all the words that have a P on them. Especially when writing scripts for this channel, I had to be very careful or else I end up saying, "Hello everybody, I'm Heian Cohen." That wouldn't be pretty. I think it's a hardware problem because I've already tried everything except ripping my laptop open. For the past week or so, I've been partly using my Bluetooth keyboard, partly because most of the keys there weren't working either. Basically, my two keyboards are covering each other's weaknesses. I also used the on-screen keyboard, and while it covered what I needed, it certainly wasn't organic. Fortunately, just when I was revising the script, my parents gave me a new USB keyboard. It works like a dream, and it even has a mouse. It's so cute. And while that's not a permanent solution, it will help me with my work until I have the opportunity to bring my laptop to our repair shop. Anyway, enough talking about my keyboard problems and on with the recipe book. The book must contain the ingredients and procedure on how to make the snack. It took me a while, but eventually I decided to do a panel style layout with the ingredients on top and the procedure at the bottom. I plan to draw the ingredients and the resulting snack at their designated spots. To save time, I copy-pasted the vector layers and layout for each page. I started with a sketch and typed out what I wrote beforehand. Krita's text box tool is still my least favorite aspect of the program. It doesn't show me the changes live, and because it lags every time I try to look for a different font, I had to stick to the default font I set out. Fortunately, my font looks good, but I wish that Krita improved the tool at some points. Once I finished typing the name of the snacks, its ingredients, and procedure, I adjusted the sketch accordingly and moved on to the line art. I wanted to keep the drawings as simple and cute as possible, and I also paid close attention to ensure that it represents the food and ingredients accurately. Other than for research purposes, I didn't use real photos for copyright reasons, and the fact that graphic design isn't my strong suit. And after the line art, I moved on to the coloring. I gave the illustrations a watercolor base, followed by a pencil finish. I think it gave the book a children's book vibe, which I like very much. Now then, the moment you are waiting for. Here are the snacks I chose for my menu. On Monday, we have candied apple slices and a glass of water. Unlike caramel apples, the apple slices are decorated with peanut butter and some toppings. You can pick any topping you want, like nuts, raisins, and chocolate chips. It not only looks tasty, but it also seems healthy, especially if the toppings are nuts or raisins. Speaking of which, I rewatched the festival arc from My Hero Academia, and Eri is so adorable. I'm so happy that she's happy. Since she's a fan of apples, I would personally recommend this snack to her. It looks tasty and somewhat healthier than dunking it in a sugar coat. Not that I know though, I never tried any of those. Now, on Tuesday, we have salad and Yakult. I know it either sounds fancy or a little weird, but in some of the classrooms I observed, I noticed that some of the activities involve making and eating salads. And since I needed to add vegetables in my plan, I thought why not and add salads in the menu. There are many types of salads, but for simplicity's sake, I chose a few ingredients. I found this very interesting because back when I was a kid, my teachers never went so far as to teach us how to make salads. I guess school is doing whatever it takes to instill healthy eating habits, and salads are pretty tasty. I love the ones my dad makes. The vinegar dressing is so good and it matches the chopped onions. But enough of that, on to Wednesday. We have pancakes and apple juice. This was the most challenging because I need to research proportions. Growing up, my dad doesn't have measuring tools, so he would make estimates instead of precise measurements. His pancakes are still delicious, but since my target audience are children who might want more precise numbers, I had to do some research. To keep it simple and to lessen the ingredients, I used pancake mix. Fun fact, whenever I make pancakes at home, I would always add an extra ingredient like crushed Oreos, chocolates, and some muscovado sugar. It's really tasty and I wholeheartedly recommend it. Now on Thursday, we have PB&J and low-fat milk. I never eat this before, but I keep hearing it in pop culture in a positive light. It's also simple to make with a few ingredients and little to no adult supervision, unless they want to cut off the crust or toast the bread. Honestly, I'm not a fan of white bread unless it's toasted. I don't know why, maybe it's the taste or the smell. I once tried eating white bread and jam and I never wanted to eat it again. Finally, on Friday, we have pandesal with cheese and orange juice. Pandesal is a tasty bread, and adding cheese and butter makes it even more delicious. From experience, one to two pandesals are enough to keep me going within the day. Back when I was a kid, I could eat at least 5, but as I grew older, I could only handle 2. Either way, it's delicious. And as another page, I added how to make apple and orange juice using a juicer. After finishing the mentioned pages, I move on to the cover page. I did this for last because 1. I wanted to finalize the overall content, and 2. I was afraid that I would take so much time making this cover instead of the overall product. This was by far my favorite part of the project. Until now, I felt kind of restricted with what to put into pages, but now I could let loose in the illustration process. Plus, I get to use the text box tool less. Yay! I wanted the cover to be cute and appropriate. I decided to go with a chef theme and drew an image of myself inside a jar. To keep up with the recipe book's overall aesthetic, I colored the piece using my watercolor brush. I added some text inside the jar using the spray brush, and I tried some soft shading. It's rough around the edges, but I think it looks okay. I guess it gave this painterly vibe. It looked nice and soft. Overall, when all is said and done, I have a fun time with this requirement. I got to not only learn more about the food pyramid guide, but I also got to take it into practice. Oh, and guess what? As of recording this, I received my grade for this project. It's a high score, though I received deductions for a food presentation. That being said, I received full marks on my books, presentation, information, and the snacks I chose. I'm feeling very proud of myself right now. And that is that. Thanks for watching this video. It took me a while to get this out. School has been busy. I was originally planning to post a draw with me, but I wasn't satisfied with what I wrote, so I scrapped the idea. Either way, I hope this is worth it. If you have any comments and or anime recommendations, send them through the comment section below. And while you're at it, subscribe and ring that notification bell if you want to be updated with my latest videos. Once again, I am Happy Pinecone, and see you next time.